The number where compounding suddenly catches fire, the real numbers. Today, we're going to talk about exactly what that moment is, when it happens, what the real numbers look like, and most importantly, why so many people quit just before they reach it. Because understanding this one concept might be the most important financial education you ever receive. Let's go. Why compounding feels broken in the beginning. Let me show you something that trips up almost every new investor. Imagine you invest $500 a month, consistent, every month, into an index fund averaging 10% annual return. Here's what your first few years actually look like. Year 1, you put in $6,000. Your account has $6,357. The market added $357. $357 for an entire year of discipline. An entire year of choosing to invest instead of spend. An entire year of watching that money leave your account every single month. $357 in growth. That feels deeply unimpressive. And honestly, it is unimpressive. In absolute dollar terms, at this stage, compounding is almost invisible. Year 2, you've now put in $12,000 total. Your account has $13,468. Growth added about $1,468 total. Still feels slow. Still feels like the math isn't really working yet. Year 3, $18,000 contributed. Account sits at $21,400. About $3,400 in total growth. Getting better, but still, you're doing most of the heavy lifting yourself. Your contributions are the main engine. The compounding is still just a passenger. This is the phase where most people get discouraged. This is where the doubts start creeping in. Maybe I should try something more aggressive. Maybe index funds are too slow and I need to pick better stocks. Maybe I should just use this money for something I can actually enjoy right now. And this is precisely where the story ends for most investors. Not because the strategy failed, because the timeline wasn't understood. Here's what they didn't know. The early years of compounding are not the performance. They're the preparation. The machine is being built, and you cannot rush the building phase without destroying the machine. So when does it actually change? Let me give you the honest answer, and then let me show you exactly what it looks like in real numbers. The tipping point, the moment compounding suddenly catches fire, happens when your account balance is large enough that your annual market return exceeds your monthly contribution. Read that again, because it's the key to everything. When the growth your existing balance generates in a single year becomes larger than what you're manually adding, the dynamic of your account fundamentally shifts. You are no longer the primary engine of growth. The money is. Let's watch this happen in real time with our $500 a month investor. Years 1 through 5, the grind phase. Monthly contribution, $500. Total contributed after 5 years, $30,000. Account balance, $38,645. Total growth added, $8,645. Monthly growth from the market, roughly $290. Notice, your $500 monthly contribution is still bigger than the $290 the market is adding each month. You are still outworking the compounding. The machine is not yet running on its own. Years 5 through 8, the transition phase. Something starts shifting around year 6 and 7. Your balance is now large enough that the monthly market returns are approaching your monthly contributions. By end of year 7, total contributed $42,000, account balance $61,453, monthly market growth approximately $470. You're contributing $500. The market is adding $470. You are almost neck and neck with your own money. Year 8, the crossover. This is the moment. Somewhere in year 8, your account balance crosses the threshold where the annual 10% return generates more than your $6,000 yearly contribution. The math, $60,000 account balance multiplied by 10% equals $6,000 from the market alone. Your contribution, $6,000. You are now tied dollar for dollar. You put in $6,000, the market matches it with $6,000. And from this point forward, the market starts winning that race permanently and by an increasingly large margin every single year. Year 10, the machine turns on. Total contributed $60,000, account balance $102,422, annual market growth over $9,300, monthly market growth $775. You're contributing $500. The market is adding $775. Your money is now officially outworking you. You have crossed the tipping point. The compounding has caught fire. Here's where the story becomes almost almost hard to believe, because once compounding crosses that threshold, once the market is generating more than your contributions, the acceleration doesn't just continue, it intensifies every single year. Let me show you what happens to our $500 a month investor after year 10. Year 15, total contributed $90,000. Account balance $208,000. Annual market growth $18,900. Monthly market growth $1,575. You're contributing $500. The market is adding $1,575. Your money is doing 3 times the work you are. Year 20, total contributed $120,000. Account balance $379,684. Annual market growth $34,500. Monthly market growth $2,875. You contribute $500. The market adds $2,875 that month. You're contributing less than 15% of that month's total growth. The machine is running almost entirely on its own. Year 25, total contributed $150,000. Account balance $637,678. Annual market growth $58,000. Monthly market growth $4,800. Year 30, total contributed $180,000. Account balance $1,027,380. Annual market growth $93,400. Monthly market growth $7,780. Your $500 monthly contribution is now generating $7,780 per month in market returns on top of it. You put in $180,000 over 30 years. Your account has over $1 million. The market silently added $847,000 you never earned with your hands. That is compounding catching fire. That is what the tipping point eventually becomes. And it all started with 8 years of boring, unimpressive, almost pointless feeling monthly contributions. There's a shape that every long-term investment account eventually makes. Investors call it the hockey stick. Imagine holding a hockey stick flat. The handle is long, mostly horizontal, barely rising. That's your first 7 to 10 years of investing. Slow, gradual, almost flat. Then there's the blade, where the stick suddenly curves sharply upward. That's what happens after the tipping point. The curve becomes almost vertical. The growth stops being gradual and starts being dramatic. Every long-term investor who stays the course eventually gets to the blade. Every investor who quits during the handle never finds out what was waiting for them. Here's the cruel irony of the hockey stick. The handle phase, the slow, boring, discouraging phase, is actually the most important part, because without the handle, there is no blade. The length of your handle directly determines the height of your blade. Every month you contribute during the grind phase is not wasted. It is loaded with future compounding that will eventually release in the blade phase with multiplied force. The years that feel like nothing are building everything. This is the truth that separates people who retire wealthy from people who retire wondering where their money went. Not intelligence, not income level, not perfect investment timing. Just did they understand the hockey stick well enough to survive the handle long enough to reach the blade? 3 different relationships with the tipping point. Let me show you 3 investors. Same $500 a month, completely different outcomes based on one variable: when they quit or stayed. Investor 1, Sarah, stayed the full 30 years. Sarah started at 25, contributed $500 every month. Never stopped, never panic sold, never redirected the money when life got hard. She reached the tipping point at year 8, watched the hockey stick bend upward through her 40s, retired at 55 with just over $1,027,000. Her total personal contribution, $180,000. Market contribution, $847,000. Sarah didn't outwork the market, she outlasted it long enough for it to work for her. Investor 2, James, quit at year 6. James started the same time as Sarah. Same contribution, same fund, but at year 6, the market had a rough year. His account actually dropped in value. He'd been contributing faithfully for 6 years, and his account was worth less than it had been. He pulled the money out, paid the penalty and taxes, walked away with about $32,000. James quit 2 years before the tipping point. 2 years. If he had stayed, just stayed, done nothing, kept contributing, by year 30, his account would have been over $1 million. He left $968,000 on the table because a down year felt like a broken promise. Investor 3, Diana, stopped contributing but didn't sell. Diana contributed for 10 years, then hit a financial rough patch and had to stop. No more monthly contributions, but she made one crucial decision. She didn't sell. She left a $102,000 $102,000 alone. Over the next 20 years, with zero new contributions, that $102,000 grew at 10% annually. After 20 more years, that original $102,000 became $686,000. Diana stopped contributing, but she'd already crossed the tipping point. The machine was running, and the machine that's running doesn't need you to keep feeding it every month to keep producing. This is one of the most hopeful numbers in all of personal finance. Even if life forces you to stop contributing, if you've crossed the tipping point and you leave the money alone, the compounding continues working without you. The machine, once started, is remarkably hard to stop. How to reach your tipping point faster? The real levers. So how do you get there sooner? How do you shorten the handle and reach the blade faster? There are 3 real levers, and only 3. Lever 1, start earlier. This is the most powerful lever and the least actionable for people who are already 35 or 45. But if you're young and watching this, understand that every year you wait is not a neutral decision. It's a costly one. Starting at 22 versus 32 isn't a 10-year difference in contributions. It's a $400,000 to $600,000 difference in final account value. Time is the ingredient that cannot be purchased at any price. Lever 2, contribute more. The tipping point arrives when your account balance generates annual returns exceeding your annual contributions. If you contribute more, the tipping point arrives sooner because the balance grows faster. Going from $500 a month to $750 a month doesn't just add 50% more contributions. It pulls your tipping point forward by roughly 2 years. And because of compounding, those 2 years are worth an enormous amount on the back end. Every raise you get, redirect at least half into investments immediately before lifestyle inflation absorbs it. Lever 3, never interrupt the compounding. This is the lever most people accidentally pull in the wrong direction. Every time you withdraw early, you don't just lose the amount withdrawn, you lose every dollar that amount would have compounded into over the remaining years. Withdraw $20,000 at year 5, and you don't lose $20,000. At 10% return over 25 more years, you lose $216,000. That's what $20,000 becomes with 25 years of compounding. Interrupting compounding is not a withdrawal. It is a permanent subtraction from your future. Protect the continuity above almost everything else. Here's what I want you to leave with today. The reason most people never experience compounding catch fire is not because they were bad investors. It's not because they chose the wrong funds. It's not because they didn't earn enough. It's because nobody ever explained what the first 7 years were supposed to feel like. Nobody said, this is going to feel slow and pointless and almost broken for a long time. That's not a signal to stop. That's the process working exactly as designed. Nobody drew the hockey stick and said, you are here in the handle and the blade is coming, but only if you stay. So people quit 2 years before the tipping point, 5 years before the machine turned on, right at the moment the boring part was about to become extraordinary. The investors who retire wealthy are not smarter than the ones who don't. They just understood one thing deeply enough to act on it consistently. Small contributions, long time, never stop. That's the entire secret, hidden in plain sight, available to almost anyone willing to survive the handle long enough to reach the blade. Your tipping point exists. The math guarantees it. The only question is whether you'll still be invested when it arrives. Stay in, stay boring, let the fire come to you.